What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're looking at some more I Do Work Here Lady stories. I do work here and your vacation is over. Quite a few years ago, I worked as a ski school supervisor at a mountain resort. One day early in the season, it's slow, so I decide to go take a run with one of my co-workers. Since I've been on my skis a lot, I opt to grab my snowboard for this particular jaunt. This is important for later. So me and my buddy are out and about for a couple of runs, and it's time to head back in to check for lessons. We are down off the main mountain and just cruising along a green, easy run that leads back to the base area. Like I said, it's a slow day, so there's nobody around, or so I think. I'm making regular, smooth turns on my board when out of nowhere I hear a woman from behind me screech, "Get out of the way! Get out of the way!" Before I can even flinch, I feel something hit the tail of my board. I get spun around and go down kind of hard. For a moment, the red rage light blinks in my head, but I think, okay, we're in a beginner area, she might not have had control, it was an accident, be cool. I pull myself up off the snow and calm myself down. I look down the hill and there are two Karens standing about 50 yards downhill. Obviously, one of them was the one that hit me. Cool, they've stopped to make sure I'm okay and apologize. I slide down to them and open my mouth to check if they're okay. But before I can even get word one out of my mouth, the first Karen starts screaming at me. "What the F do you think you're doing? You could have killed me. You freaking snowboarders are a menace. You don't belong on the mountain." And on it goes. Screaming at me, cursing at me, calling me all sorts of names. One important note, there are a set of rules that govern skiing, and one of them is that skiers and riders ahead of you have the right of way. Just like driving, if you hit someone from behind while skiing, you're 100% at fault. I tried to interrupt politely to tell her this, but Karen is having none of it. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, F you, Karen, I'm tearing you a new butthole once you're finished yelling. I look over at my buddy for backup, and suddenly my rage-filled brain realizes something. My buddy is in full uniform. I look down, black pants, blue and grey jacket with the resort logo on front and back, bright shiny gold name tag that says supervisor under my name, and a radio mic clipped to my collar. Yeah, I'm in full uniform too. At this point, I'm dumbfounded. Is this woman seriously screaming and cursing at two mountain employees after she just caused a crash? What? Then I get calm and hold up my hand for her to stop. I have no idea why, but Karen stops screaming. I reach up to the radio mic and call ski patrol. I ask them to have the patrol director on duty meet me at the base area. It's at this point that it finally dawns on Karen that she has effed up. She starts asking why I call patrol and what I'm going to do. I just shrug. She starts saying she doesn't want me following her and to leave her alone. Again, we're almost in sight of the base. There's nowhere else to go other than to follow this trail down. She realizes she's stuck and skis down with her friend. Her friend at this point looks mortified, by the way. We get to the base and the patrol director is standing there with another patroller. I give a recap of the events, including some of the graphic things she told me to do to myself and multiple family members. The patrol director rolls his eyes, then pulls out wire cutters. Karen goes wide-eyed and is like, "No, you can't take my ticket. It's a 5-day ticket. We just got here today. This is our vacation." Tickets are over $75 per day, so we're talking like a $350 ticket this lady has on. The patrol director just shrugs and says, "Well, mom, then you just made a very expensive mistake," and clips the ticket. At that point, my co-worker and I beat a retreat back to the ski school because we want no part of the fallout. Oh, the instant regret when she realized you two were employees, that is just priceless. Can I just say, well done to the patrol director? Like, it's a bit harsh, but that is exactly what you should do in this situation. If someone is going way too fast and is out of control skiing, then that's one thing. But if they're going way too fast and are out of control and then are horrible to the people they crash into, that is another. Yep, I totally agree with the patrol director and OP on this one. She had to have her ticket taken away. It doesn't matter that she had 4 days left, she could have caused a serious injury and she's just a horrible person in general, not someone you want on the slopes. Moving on to our second story, snappy worker thinks I'm a trainee and becomes rude. I'm her manager. Backstory, I am a female and I rather look younger than I am, said by my friends and family. I am 29 years old but happen to look like a graduate in community college. I started working for a business a couple of years ago and worked up the ranks to where I am today. I manage all the office work workers, you know, keep them in check, help with anything, and make sure everyone is behaving the usual. Anyways, here is the story. We've recently got a new worker, but she came while I was overseas for my grandmother who became very ill. When I came back, I got the news. I went to go introduce myself to the worker. Here is how it went. I'm going to call her SW for Snappy Worker. Hello. Hi. So let me introduce myself. She interrupts me and says with a smirk, a trainee, you're the third one I've seen today. We were recently hiring people and many of the trainees were about 19 to 24. I'm usually quick at answering and accidentally said, cut it. You know how hard it was for me to become a worker? It took me over 2 months for the job here. Oh, alright, but you are mistaken. Cut it. Look, just do what I say and you'll be okay. If you dare to tell anyone about this, I'll make your life a living heck. Miss, I'm literally your manager. The snappy worker then starts laughing hysterically. Shut up. I'll report you for trying to say something like that. Go get me coffee, no milk. At this point, I was getting annoyed, but I didn't think much of it and decided I'd speak with her with my supervisor if it keeps up. I never got her the coffee she wanted. I heard a knock on my office door. I sat down in my chair, and because I was tired, I said this in a low voice. Come in. This is where the snappy worker comes in. Her face looks pale at first to see me in the chair, and then she had a huge grin on her face. Oh, you're in so much trouble. I look up and see her. Oh gosh, you're one of my workers. Anyways, my name is... Cut it! Oh, excuse me, supervisor. The snappy worker gives me a huge grin on her face. I just stare at her in disbelief at her stupidity, but I guess she jumps into conclusions a little too early. My supervisor comes in. What seems to be the problem? Keep in mind, the worker seemed like in her mid-40s with a Karen tone, and was really putting on makeup saying, I'll date you, but I won't actually date you. This trainee is pretending to be the manager. I'm personally his, yes, she thought the manager was a he, friend. So fire this girl now, on with it. She was really dramatic. Mom, that indeed is your manager. Her expression was priceless. She went from a see you later hater to I am so effing done. In the end, multiple complaints were coming in, including from me, and she ended up being fired. I wonder how she's doing to this day. Well, judging by this story, I'm pretty sure she won't be doing too well. Oh, OP, I'm so sorry that you had to go through this. I'll never understand why people feel the need to act like they're friends with a manager or owner of a company. Like, that sort of claim is so easily debunked, and it can only lead to bad things for you, so why even do it? I guess she was probably hoping to get a nice, good pat on the back for having such a good eye, but come on, there's confidence and there's just arrogance and being horrible. Yeah, no other liners. Now for our final story. I do work here and you need to go. I work at a place that does nighttime events during the weekends where we sell beer and have food, not a restaurant, all outdoor. We're family friendly, and due to the type of licensing we have, we are only allowed to sell beer and no other alcohol. At the time, my job was to walk around to make sure that nobody was sneaking in outside drinks, as we will occasionally get secret shoppers making sure that we are following codes. One night, while making my rounds, I spotted a group with clear plastic cups and a bottle of wine which we don't serve. I politely informed them that they need to dump their cups and put the bottle away, and I will not make them leave as long as I don't see it again. To which they responded by saying that the bartender sold them the bottle of wine. I informed them that this would not happen because if wine were to be sold, we would cease to be family friendly and not be able to allow children to come and be a part of our neighborhood events. After I say this, they admit that they brought it and that they are good friends with the owner, and he said it was okay to do. They've done it before, and that I can ask any worker that was around that they were allowed. I kind of realized that they thought I was just another patron because we don't have any uniforms or name tags. So I tell them that I'm an employee and have been given the authority to kick people who aren't compliant with our rules out and hand them a ban as well, and that I was going to get their friendly owner over to explain further if they misunderstood. They made me annoyed because they tried to get away with it and possibly get us shut down, so I dropped the leniency and had them leave. The next day I was on shift in the morning for my normal duties when one of the group members arrives. He sees me working and rudely asks for my manager and tells me that he's going to get his ban lifted. I am a manager, though of a different section of the business, but still with some authority over these matters, and I tell him so. He drops his smirk and says he'd like to talk to the owner then, so I suggest that he call him since they're such close friends. He stormed off in a huff and has not returned since. Yeah, honestly, this is so similar to the last story. If you don't know the owner, don't lie and say you know them, you're gonna get found out. Now, it's bad enough to lie in the first place, I understand that, but why didn't they just come back and apologize and say, look, I'm really sorry, we got it wrong, we were honestly thinking that you weren't a worker and just trying to be cheeky. If I was a worker and someone said that to me, I'd probably say, you know what, fair enough, I'll give you a warning, you can have your ban revoked. But coming back in all confident and arrogant and complaining, yeah, that's just not gonna fly. Anyway guys, that is gonna do it for this episode of r/IDOWorkHereLady. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, like the video, comment your opinions on the stories down below and subscribe to my channel. Also, click the video on screen right now for some more IDOWorkHereLady content. With that being said, I will see you guys all later today with another video on my channel.